On the news tonight, Governor Adeleke assures on commitment to quality health care delivery in Osun. Supreme Court adjourns hearing in suit challenging Naira redesign policy. President Buhari restates commitment to fair, credible poll. World Health Organization intensifies efforts against Marburg virus in Equatorial Guinea. Good evening, and we are glad to have you join us on the major reports. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke says his administration will prioritize quality healthcare delivery for residents of the state in a bid to ensure healthy living conditions towards building a better society. The governor hosted this while flagging off the Imole free medical and surgical outreach, also paid an inspection visit to reality radio vision services in Iwo. Details of the report will be brought to you in the course of the bulletin. The commitment to address road infrastructure in Osun State is one of the cardinal goals of the state governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke. The governor is matching his words with action as he approved the rehabilitation and reconstruction of some major roads across the state. Osbc News was at the site of some of the roads in Ede, where rehabilitation work is already in progress. Oluchi Amuda reports.
The world is becoming increasingly networked, interdependent, and service-oriented. The capacities to transact business efficiently, speedily, safely, and with ease are becoming more and more important to economic development, social cohesion, and cultural revival. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke recognizes the fact that effective road network is germane in fast-tracking the development of the state and enhances economic growth. Little wonder why he swung into action by approving the rehabilitation of some major roads across the state so as to ease the sufferings of the masses and drive commercial activities in the state.
We plan to address the infrastructure deficit with a cost-effective, home-based and labor-intensive program. To our people in the diaspora, we are opening up the state for partnership in education, health, trade, investment, and tech innovations. We are creating the enabling environment for multiple cooperation to put our state on the global map of development. In our drive for a new Osun State, I assure you that we will be fair and inclusive in our actions. I have visited several schools, health centers, and other public infrastructure. These inspections have strengthened our pre-election data. We are poised to deliver on our first 100 days in office program, which covers areas such as water provision, rehabilitation of schools and health centers, rehabilitation of roads, and delivery of tech innovations for the digital economy.
Osbc News visits to the site of some of the roads that are currently under rehabilitation in Ede, including Akanka Junction from Owodiede Road to Agate Junction and Odularede Street, starting from Elore Junction through Federal Poly Junction, show that work is already in progress at the various sites as drainages have been fixed. Residents of the area who could not hide their joy were full of appreciation to Governor Ademola Adeleke for walking the talk and keeping to his electoral promises. In their separate interviews with Osbc News, residents of the state, including Mr. Jamaldeen Anyide, Mrs. Mutiat Okunlade, Mrs. Fatima Tijani, Rosikatu Okunlade, Hazan Jinadu, and Mr. Adenle Adesina stated that the roads have been in terrible condition for over 30 years, which has led to loss of lives as accidents were rampant in the area. They maintain that when completed, the roads would improve the economic status of the people of the area and that of the entire state at large.
Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke is a very, very intelligent man. I want to appreciate our governor. God will help him.
I'm feel well. In fact, I'm very happy that our road will be good, better than before. So I'm very happy. I pray for our governor that God will be with them in the name of Almighty God.
The road is very, very fine. It's very good. This society will enjoy. The market will try up. So thank God. We thank government. Only lock more do. To you buy it and mileage. Kono to baba bolori rewa. Kono je kuri re. Kono je
Governor Ademola Adeleke has promised that all the earmarked roads under rehabilitation and reconstruction in all senatorial districts in the state will be completed within the first 100 days of his administration. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
The Supreme Court has adjourned hearing in a suit filed by Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara states against the federal government seeking a restraining order to stop the full implementation of the Naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria until February 22. Also, the Apex Court joined 9 states as parties in the suit filed by Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara challenging the Naira swap deadline. This is as Governors Nasir El-Rufai and Yahaya Bello of Kaduna and Kogi states, respectively, attended the court proceedings. The Justice John Okoro-led 9-member panel joined the Attorneys General of Katsina, Lagos, Ondo, Ogun, Ekiti, and Sokoto states as co-plaintiffs. It will be recalled that the governments of Kaduna, Kogi, and Zamfara states filed a suit against the federal government and the CBN, challenging the deadline for currency swap, which they said has brought untold hardship on Nigerians. Also, other state governors at the recent meeting of the Nigeria Governors Forum decided to join the suit to challenge the CBN deadline policy, which they said it is untenable in view of what they described as poor implementation of currency redesign policy of the Apex Bank. Nigerians have continued to lament the unavailability of the new Naira notes and rejection of the old Naira notes by commercial banks. Those who spoke with Osbc News in separate interviews enjoined the Central Bank of Nigeria to make the new notes available for transactions. Oluwatobiloba Odunoga has more.
Controversies have continued to trail release of the redesigned 200 Naira, 500 Naira and 1000 Naira notes, as many have continued to groan over the unavailability of the new currency in automated teller machines and even over the counter in commercial banks. It will be recalled that the Central Bank of Nigeria last December introduced the new notes amid efforts to fight corruption, terrorism, counterfeiting and related crimes. However, Nigerians have had a hard time getting the new notes amid scarcity and rising tension across the country. This frustration has led to protests in some parts of the country as many Nigerians continue to besiege banks and ATM points amid scarcity of the old and new currency. Meanwhile, a Supreme Court ruling recently ordered that the old notes remain in circulation, restraining the Central Bank of Nigeria from going ahead with the enforcement of its 10th of February as deadline for the use of the old currency. Speaking with Osbc News in separate interviews on this Naira crisis, respondents including Mr. Ojo Olubisi, Mr. Sikiru Lawa and Mr. Ibrahim Jamal narrated their audios in getting the new note, noting that they have been at their bank since around 5 a.m. to queue at the bank in order to withdraw money, but their efforts yielded no result. They lamented that the new Naira note is not available in automated teller machines and over-the-counter in commercial banks, even with POS operators who have increased their charges from 10% to 20% or more.
The reason here is very bad, very pathetic. It's unbearable. People have been coming here right away from, say, 3 o'clock in the morning. Some people will go like that without giving them kobo. I sent somebody here to save our money from the church. Out of the money given to that girl, 20,000 naira was dejected because it's a former note.
It's very difficult to say the fact. Even though I went to Shugu yesterday, I didn't, since 5 o'clock, I didn't seek money to collect. They should help us because this situation that we did now, to buy food is difficult. To buy something now is difficult for us.
Meanwhile, as Supreme Court sitting has adjourned the suit filed by some state governors to challenge the Naira redesign policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria to the 22nd of this month. Oluwa Tobiloba, Odunuga, Osbc News.
Meanwhile, the National Bureau of Statistics says Nigeria's inflation has soared to 21.82% in January 2023. According to the NBS, January inflation rate is a 0.48% point increase from the 21.34% that was recorded in December 2022. It stated that the rise in inflation is due to the redesign of the Naira by the Central Bank of Nigeria as the deadline inflation rate rose to 21.82% compared to the December 2022 headline inflation rate, which was 21.34%. And the NBS explained that it is a new 17-year high after inflation fell for the first time in December 2022 and Nigeria's inflation rate had been rising consistently for 11 months. The federal government has reaffirmed the commitment of President Muhammadu Buhari to allow a fair and credible poll and electoral process to hand over the reins of power to the next president on May 29. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, stated this during the inauguration of the Presidential Transition Council constituted by the President to provide the legal framework for a seamless transition of power from one administration to another. Mr. Mustafa explained that this is the first time in the history of the federal government of Nigeria would be establishing a dictated process for managing presidential transitions of government at the federal level. The SGF, who doubles as the chairperson of the council, said in line with the Executive Order number 14 of 2023, the council is charged with the responsibility of facilitating and managing the 2023 Presidential Transition Program. Council will, among other things, facilitate the handing over process by the current president to the president-elect. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has summoned the Finnish ambassador to Nigeria, Lena Pilavezinelli, over a speech and incentive comments by a Nigerian Finnish lawyer and Biafra agitator Simon Ekpa. The Ekpa-led faction of the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra had reportedly declared that the election will not be allowed to hold in the southwest and had ordered sit-at-home during elections. At the meeting with Per Vanene, Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyama said Ekpa's action is fast becoming a threat to the forthcoming election and that the federal government would not take it lightly with him and the Finland government if not drastic action is carried out. The minister, who was represented by the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Zubairu Dada, noted that Ekpa is living in the comfort of his home in Finland and dishing out dangerous orders to his followers not to allow elections to hold in southeastern Nigeria. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has launched a National School Security and Emergency Response Center to scale up surveillance and protect school children. Flagging off the center in Abuja, Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Prince Clem Agba, said that the project is launched in furtherance of efforts by the federal government to end the spate of kidnappings and abductions for the ransom of school children. Mr. Agba said the government will ensure the prompt release of funds for the financing of the entire Safe Schools initiative to ensure that children are able to go to school without fear of kidnappings or abductions for ransom. He pointed out that the government is aware that the success of every one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals rests on a safe, secured environment where school children can get the quality education they need to unlock their full potentials and contribute to building a better Nigeria. The family of Mr. Muhyiddin Hamzat is appealing to well-meaning Nigerians for help in order to raise funds needed to settle medical bills in respect of hemorrhagic disease, which has made him to be in the state of coma since January this year. According to the family, Mr. Hamzat is in need of 1.5 million naira for proper medical treatment and full recovery. Damilola Adebayo Jeje has details.
On the 24th of January 2023, Mr. Muhyiddin Hamzat suffered a shock while walking, and since then the story hasn't been pleasant. While speaking to Osbc News in an interview, his brother disclosed that Mr. Muhyiddin, who is a commercial driver by profession, was later diagnosed of hemorrhagic stroke, which involved a surgery for the treatment.
On 24 January, so this my brother is riding Kobe along the line on the motions. So he had a shock. So and that shock led to coma. So since that time, they can't see, they can't talk. So they can't do anything. So we appealed to good people of Osun State to assist us. The doctor told us to go and bring the 1.5 million for the surgery to make him the head get better.
The operation was carried out on the 28th of January 2023 and it was successful, but he still remains in a state of coma at the moment in the hospital. His family have come to solicit with the people of Osun State as his bills of 1.5 million naira haven't been fully paid for yet in the hospital, to make his recovery process faster and for him to be able to be administered proper treatment and prevent the worst from happening to him.
We now pray to good people of Osun State to help us in these situations for my brother's health to get better. Please, God will bless you.
The following are the account details which contributions can be made into 022 65 02 421 022 65 02 421 Wema Bank, and the contact details for further inquiry is 070 53 82 6995 070 53 82 2695. If the dues can be paid in time, results can be guaranteed. God heals, but human cares. Oluwadamilola Adebayo Jeje, Osbc News.
You are welcome to our sports segment. Nine-time women African champions, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, will kick off their preparation for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup with their game tonight against Mexico in the four-nation tournament Revelation Cup. Omotayo Adebodo has details of this story and more.
The under-23 side, the Olympic Eagles, to press ahead with their objective of a second Olympic football gold medal when they host Guinea in an under-23 African Cup of Nations final qualifying fixtures. First leg at the Lakan Salami Stadium in Ibadan, Wednesday, 22nd of March. The clash with Guinea will determine after both legs which of Nigeria and Guinea will progress to the fourth African Under-23 Cup of Nations to be staged in Morocco later this year. Nigeria won the second edition of the African Under-23 Cup of Nations in Senegal in 2015 and won the bronze medal at the men's Olympic football tournament in Brazil the following year. Meanwhile, Super Falcons defender Ashley Pomple has said the team is set to defeat all their opponents at the Four Nations Invitational Tournament Revelations Cup. The four countries, Nigeria, Costa Rica, Colombia, and Mexico, participating in the tournament will use the competition to prepare for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. Speaking in a short video interview posted on the Super Falcons Twitter handle today, Pomle said the team is prepared for every game, knowing they are trying to win and they will compete to the best of their abilities to make sure they get the result. The Super Falcons will take on Mexico in their first game at 10 p.m. tonight, and the team would play their last match against Costa Rica on the 21st of February. The competition will serve as part of Super Falcons' preparations for the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup to be co-hosted by Australia and New Zealand. In the meantime, Southampton may well have ended their interest in making Jose March their new manager after talks broke down. Negotiations have faltered over the length of any proposed contract, with American March wanting longer than the short-term deal Saints wanted to offer. first-team coach Ruben Seles would continue to take the team in training and for Saturday's match at Chelsea. Southampton would continue looking for another replacement for Nathan Jones, who they sacked on Sunday. However, the club may also consider leaving Seles in charge for longer than they anticipated, and he may now have an opportunity to put himself in the running to be appointed as the club's new permanent manager. Southampton's board have had interest from a number of other candidates, including former Everton boss Frank Lampard and DC United manager Wayne Rooney. Omotayo Adebodun, Osbc News.
While on the foreign scene, the World Health Organization has intensified efforts in containing the outbreak of the Marburg virus that killed 9 people in Equatorial Guinea. Michael Adeni has the rest of the story.
The World Health Organization has intensified surveillance after Equatorial Guinea confirmed an outbreak of the Marburg virus, which killed 9 people in the African country. The country officially declared its first outbreak of Marburg virus disease. In addition to the deaths, Equatorial Guinea has, however, reported 16 suspected cases of the virus. WHO, however, convened an emergency meeting with a representative of the Marburg virus vaccine consortium, MAVIC, to discuss the vaccine and therapeutic solution to the virus and outline research priorities. WHO's country representative in Equatorial Guinea, George Ahmed, says surveillance in the field has been intensified through contact tracing, adding that health emergency experts in epidemiology, case management, infection prevention, laboratory and risk communication to boost a response have been deployed to the country. It will be recorded that Equatorial Guinea quarantined more than 200 people and restricted movement in Kinten province after detecting an unknown hemorrhagic fever in recent times. The United Nations says $5.6 billion is needed this year to provide humanitarian aid in Ukraine and to the millions who have fled the war-ravaged country. UN humanitarian chief Martin Griffiths said this while addressing the UN Council on Migration and Refugees, adding that the need for aid is enormous, with some 21.8 million Ukrainians requiring assistance. Griffiths further said $1.7 billion is needed for assistance to the more than 4 million Ukrainian refugees hosted in 10 East European countries. He explained that most of funds will go to Poland, which is hosting more than 5.5 million Ukrainian refugees, and Moldova, the main transit country from Ukrainians making their way further into Europe. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has warned of the threats posed by rising sea level to hundreds of millions of people living in low-lying coastal areas and small island states, as new data revealed rapidly since 1900. In his address to the first UN Security Council debate on the implication of rising sea level for international peace and security, Guterres said countries such as Bangladesh, China, India and the Netherlands were threatened as big cities such as Bangkok, Buenos Aires, Jakarta, Lagos, London, Los Angeles, Mumbai, Maputo, New York and Shanghai. He told the council that the danger is especially acute for nearly 900 million people who live in coastal zones at low elevation, which is 1 out of 10 people on Earth. That's Michael Adeni reporting.
And that ends the major report on OSBC TV. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola saying good night.